Hey, hi. Estamos de vuelta. Vamos, we are going to try again. Let's see. Hey, Christian, hi. Send the message to participate. Hi, Nick. Let's try again. Tu-tu-tu. Let's see. Wait.
There we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
that worked. What's up?
Yeah, Nick. It's really nice to finally meet you. I love your
Thank
podcast. It's
you.
amazing.
Thank you
And
so much.
I'm glad that you're talking to a lot of directors. I also do that uh, as a fan because I really love to watch a film and then talk with the directors, the producers. Some of them they are friends of mine, especially in Argentina, and then we
Nice.
can do something. It's really really nice actually. Actually, today there is going to be a premiere in Buenos Aires of a movie called Legions that is going to be released in the States by a friend, Fabian. So uh, maybe you can watch it.
Yeah, what is it called? Lesions?
Le- Legions, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah, that
think.
sounds cool.
And well, here, Christian. Hi.
Yo, hey, hello guys, hello everybody.
Hey
Hey,
there.
hey there. Hi Nick. Hey Adrian, what are you
So
guys doing?
so we are in Buenos Aires, Italy, and the States.
And
As
All
I mean,
right.
this is a very international. Well, I wanted to organize this Instagram Live to talk about. I mean, a lot. I mean, all of us here are horror fans, and at the same time, we like to help to produce and also to write. In the case of Christian, he did a fabulous short film called Escalation. I don't know if you watch it, Nick.
Yeah, I'd love to see that
I,
though.
I
I don't
can
know.
definitely show you.
It's
Great.
amazing. It's amazing. But let's talk about what brings us here. The horror in 2022. I have seen amazing things in 2001 and 2022, and not only from the States. I mean, in Latin America,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a growth in the horror genre. The Nordic horror blows your mind. And again, I mean, also in the indie circuit in the States, they're doing amazing things. What do you think?
I mean, it was one of the best years for horror in a long time. From an indie perspective, but also from a theatrical perspective. We had things like Barbarian that had wide theatrical releases, and that you read this. I mean, you see that movie, and then you think about the script, and you part of you thinks like, there's no reason this something this insane should have had such a big theatrical release, but it's wonderful that it did. And I think that James Wan possibly had something to do with that with Malignant last year. Like that's another big budgeted, insane concept for a movie that typically you wouldn't think a studio would fund, but like it's happening. We're getting more and more really out there, high budgeted horror movies. And then we have these kind of miraculous origin stories, or like really great success stories like Damien Leone and Terrifier 2. The first movie coming out a few years ago causing this big amount of popularity. All these people were getting Art the Clown tattoos. And then he comes back with the sequel. And it the movie cost under 200 grand and it made like over 10 million at the box office. It's insane. So the appetite for horror is really growing, and then something like Smile, where it was Parker's first movie, and it did really really well, made hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. So I think that horror is proving that it's in a real heyday. People want it. People want more of it, and they want more outlandish concepts. So I think it's an exciting time. I'm excited to see what's going to happen this year.
I agree. I mean, like horror has always been known to be the genre that makes money.
Mm-hmm.
That you can really make low budget horror movies and they become cults. They make shit tons of money. Maybe not the first year once they get released.
Right.
Some they need some years to get traction, but they all make money.
Yeah.
And finally, I feel like even the producer or the big like production companies are starting to be more like, how to say, aware of
Mhm.
how different type of horror, the more extreme ones, are also moneymaker for them. So
Yeah.
from the business point of view, they're like, okay, we can invest in this. Let's put them in theaters. They work. Before they were
Mhm.
like, in the previous year, the 2010s, maybe they were more like careful. It was more
Right.
like the usual kind of things. Now they're really, especially, yes, with James Wan, Malignant, and all the international horror movies, they're like, I don't know, The Sadness, Rob Jabbats, all these crazy movies from around the world, Argentina,
Yeah.
Asperados. So they are crazy, scary, crazy, gory films. And they make money. So now producers feel more comfortable. And we as fans, we can enjoy more of this content. So I think it's a very good period to be a horror filmmaker.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, it really, really is.
Actually, something I really appreciate. Well, I remember the time where it was difficult to find good horror indie films from different parts of the world. I remember I was in forums. I used torrent a lot 20 years
Oh
ago.
yeah.
I started using that. Yeah, because to get, for example, films from Europe, Germany, even from Latin America was hard to get. I
Yeah.
mean, for Argentina. But now, thanks especially to the festival, not the streaming services, because sometimes it's difficult to find good things in the streaming services, but thanks to indie festivals and thanks to the, I think, the globalization, call it whatever, I've been in contact with, I mean, filmmakers that do amazing stuff. And I always said that Nordic horror is something that blows my mind. Well, recently, Ivotres from Horror and Beyond talked with the guys from Speak No Evil. That
Oh
was,
nice.
I mean, what it's really unsettled. I mean, really, I don't know what was your impression when you watched it for the first time, Nick and Chris.
Nick, you go first.
I don't think I saw it. I think I forgot that one.
Oh, you
Speak No
must watch.
Evil. It feels familiar. I don't know. I see
Yeah,
so many movies. I
Speak
just
No
forget
Evil
them after a
is
while.
pretty new. It's pretty new.
If
Oh, it's the one from
it's
Denmark.
Danny.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a chance. I didn't get it. Oh wait a
No,
minute.
no,
This is
no.
the one. Wait, this is the one with the family and they're in a
Yeah,
car and they
Yeah.
get up. Yes, I did see that. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Sorry. The titles blur after a while. Yeah, I thought it was good. It was brutal. It reminded me of Last House on the Left. It was that same level of like just brutality, relentlessness. It had a danger to it. And I mean, it's difficult. There's few movies that make me actually uncomfortable. Um, because I feel like I have a really good tolerance. But I really love that feeling when you're watching a movie, and part of you wonders, like, shit, can I handle this? Like, how ugly is this gonna get? And the movie just kept getting uglier and uglier. Uh, yeah, it was good. It was super frightening and just left you with a very, harsh feeling. So I always think directors who can do that well, it's very respectable for sure. But yeah,
I
I like that one.
I think like just talking in general, like what connecting to what Adrian you were saying, like also the film festival, they kind of help to spread the word of these like maybe European movies
Hmm.
in the States, or like maybe South American movies all across the globe. Australian movies come to the European market or to American market. So it's like it's good that this festival exists. And this year I probably went to like 30 plus festivals with my shorts.
Whoa.
I've seen yeah. People think I'm crazy. Like, why you keep going to all these festivals and invest? I'm like, you want to make new movies, you want to make new projects, you need to meet people, you need to be there.
Yeah,
You need
for
to get
sure.
your ass to the festival. So if people say, oh, where's the guy that made that short?
Yeah, right.
Present.
Nice.
So anyway, to go back to that, yes, it's like I'm happy that this festival bring these projects around the world because, for example, like European horror, it can be from Spain, Italy, not much now. But Northern
It's a
Europe,
shame because it's the home of, Argento
yes,
and Baba and Fulci and although Argento
yes,
just put out a movie, but I think it was an American production. But in any case, it's surprising because the Italians did a
yeah,
horror.
and then
Very
like
interesting.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad that you say that you recognize that, and many filmmakers or fans they know
Yeah.
this. Unfortunately, like I think Italy is the last country in Europe that still cannot figure out his own shit, and the producer that don't understand jack shit. Like
Okay.
horror makes money,
Yeah.
but we don't want to make like stupid horror, like make the extreme horror movies we were famous for.
Yeah, well,
Like,
you
as you were
have
saying.
Mitzi Perrone she's from Italy. She lives in the States now. She did Braid. She's really, really super talented, but
Yeah,
she's from Italy.
yeah, but that's why I'm from Italy, but now I'm basically most in the States.
Yeah.
I literally have no reason to be in Italy. I'm here on holiday now. As soon as the holiday is done, I get the fuck out.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be here. And Spain, again, Denmark, they make amazing movies. They are shocking. Just think about the Wreck series from Spain.
Oh, yeah.
Think about Speak No Evil, The Relic. It's also a Northern European movie. They are amazing. They are shocking. France, all the extreme horror from France.
Yeah.
That's like fucking hot tension in Al Interior.
Martyrs.
They're amazing. So, and this festival bring these movies out. Italy, in the 80s, yes, we were powerful. Now they cannot figure out their own shit. It's like I don't know.
Is it the production infrastructure is not good?
I had some experiences. I mean, I'm saying this live. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if someone Italian producer, if you hear what I'm saying, give me money to make my shit, or give money to filmmakers that make good stuff in Italy. Don't keep making the same movies over and over. We're tired. But I think it's like he got all over the world is the same. So when you want to make movie, you want to go safe, right? The safe route. The producer, the investors, is no more the 60s, the 70s. They were like, okay, let's try. Let's make this shit. Now everybody want to be safe. But in other countries, they still take the risks. In other countries, they try. Italy is like where everybody wants to be safe. Everybody wants to be safe. As soon and there is a page in the script that just goes out of the lines. They're like, should we spend this money to make this shit? Let's make the other one is safer. So there are a few examples now. Like there is like I don't know if you've seen like They Call Me Jig Robot, this movie from Italy about this like superhero from Rome. There are some movies that are trying to build the name for themselves, but still it's not going that great. But anyway, let's stop. Yeah.
Argentina, we have most of the directors. Well, in Argentina, most of the horror directors, all of them, they are indie directors. They don't receive support from no one. Actually, because here it happens the same that the States and Italy. There's an elite of producers of producers company that do shit. They do drama, comedy with the same actors. So indie horror here in Argentina, it's like that's why we know. I know everyone. So, for example, and then when you have success outside, maybe they start saying, "Oh, congratulations!" But they still, I mean, for example, Terrified by Demian Rugna, that we should invite it sometime to talk. Demian was going to, he told me he was going to retire, and then suddenly in the States, there was a huge success with that film. But he was so, because there was no support here. Now maybe that he's going to have success outside, but that's the problem here. And we have amazing directors, like I always recommend Nocturna by Gonzalo Calzada, is on Shudder. Blow Mining, Lenny by Federico Genotti, Pussycake, that you talk with Pablo. Pablo is like a hero for the indie horror. He has he's a machine of making films since 12. Has all the time and low budget. Do you know how much money they spend in Pussycake? Nothing.
Wow.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that's a real skill. Did you say Terrified was a Argentinian production?
By the do you want to talk to him? I can send you Ivotres talk to Demian, I remember. I can send you his contact. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, I love that movie. Love
Gonzalo Calzada and Fede Gianotti from Lenny. I mean, and there's a Lovecraftian film called History of the Occult. Amazing. And again, here in Argentina, these directors, I mean, I help them because I love what they do, but the truth is, you see these films and are amazing. I am sure in the States, I was talking to a friend in the States an hour ago, and he recommended 2 indie films from the state, horror film. I said, why I never heard about these films if they are amazing, right? Yeah. And that's something I really appreciate about horror. It's like a family where we have to support each other, fans and filmmakers, because and something horror makes money, and also it has one of the most loyal
Oh
fandom.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
I
Nothing
will watch.
comes close.
I will see the movie. I mean, if Robert Englund makes 3 movies, I will go to see him. It's kind of, we have a relationship right now from
Right.
30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the horror fans are very closely knit. It's a real community, and horror directors want each other to succeed. It's not competitive, really. But in terms of fans, like the fans are, it's the closest genre community, except for maybe sci-fi and like fantasy stuff like Lord of the Rings. They all like to get together. Like Harry Potter fans like to get together and stuff. But other than that, in like sci-fi and Star Wars and Star Trek, it's like horror genre fans are the most tightly knit. There's no like a rom-com conference that people like to go to. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, I agree with you, Nick. And even like as I said, like even filmmaking, movie business is very competitive, right?
Yeah.
But the horror family, the horror filmmakers, is like healthy competition. When you go and you meet these other guys, they're like, okay, what's next, man? I'm looking forward to see your new movie, man. Let's make some good stuff next year. Let's bring horror, to the top. So it's really, really like a welcoming family, and it's amazing. And all over the world is the same. Horror fans, genre fans. I agree with you, Nick. It's like probably the most loving community that there is around when it comes to movies.
And they're generally good people.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
look with a horror fan from, I don't know, Turkey, States, whatever. It's the same thing. We understand each other. I mean, it's like actually, I was trying to add to this live two friends of mine that are horror fans, Clara Kovacic, that's an actress, but I don't know why it doesn't let me to add more people. I have an idea, because I think this is a cool thing we can do more often, to organize this, but in Instagram, because the problem with Instagram is there is a limit of people, so we can talk and then publish it, because I really, so we can invite Clara, Alex to talk about, because it's amazing.
Yes, so Clara showing up, she was asking, I saw her.
Yeah. Well, I hear her and Alex, but I couldn't. But don't worry, we can organize it later, and actually we can invite the directors from Italy, from indie directors, to help them be more known, because honestly, as a fan, when I watch a film so good, I mean, it happened, I feel the need to promote it, to say, guys, you have to watch this. And this is more like something I do it with passion, because I really enjoy it. And that's something what horror fans have. And let me tell you something. Recently, thanks to the Buenos Aires Rojo Sangre, years ago, I discovered a Norwegian from Norway film called Thelma by Eskil Vogt. When I watched that, I say, wow, this guy was the script writer. It's a genius. And then he released a film called The Innocents that became very popular. And said, wow, I have to talk to this guy. I tried to contact this guy because it's amazing. I mean, something that I realized is that in each country, horror movies acquire the characteristic of their culture. So it's not the same watching horror, Nordic horror, than Latin American horror. And I mean, I don't know if you watched The Innocent, Norway.
No.
Blow my mind.
Oh, really? The Innocents?
Yeah.
Norway?
That one is one of the most popular ones. I don't know the one that you mentioned before from the same director. I never saw that. I will check it out and hunt it down.
He wasn't known back then. I remember watching the film and saying, my God, I have to follow this guy, because and then he released The Innocents. That, well, it's a horror masterpiece. Of course, I know Let the Right One In, Border. Well, we have a live with Eva, the actress from Border. Border is, Border, the one about the trolls living in the human world. My God. And behind that, you have an amazing writer that is the same of Let the Right One In. I mean, and that's what I really love about, and again, you see French films, horror films, and they're completely different. And they deal with social issues. For example, Extreme French deals with the fear, is home invasion, because they have, especially French, they have the problem with migration. So I know, because so you can see that in the films.
Right. Yeah, there was a time period, I think in like the early or mid 2000s, when there was a lot of French extremism, and you had Martyrs,
Yes.
you had Inside, you had Frontiers.
Yes.
There were high, not to mention High Tension. There was just so much. I feel like I haven't seen anything lately, though. Have you seen anything really interesting come out of France recently?
Yeah, France recently, like I think the extreme wave of horror has a little bit died out.
Yeah.
They, for example, in France, they still do like amazing gangster action flicks. Like they still do that, but the extreme wave of horror that the beginning of the 2000s that you were
Right.
mentioning, all these movies, it kind of, yeah, I think it kind of died out a little bit. I do not know why, because they were very popular. I think also many of those filmmakers, like Alexandre Haya from High Tension, now is working in the States. His last movie is like The Deep House, that takes place underneath the water, was always making the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. So some of them, they have moved to the
Yeah, they bring him over to the States.
Yeah.
So Pascal Laugier, who did Martyrs, he was originally attached to do the Hellraiser remake, which would have been. I really enjoyed the newest one.
I haven't watched the new one.
Imagine what he would have done. Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen the new one. But if Pascal would have done that, it would have been like freaking insane.
Yeah, it would have been nuts. Yeah, it would have been really, really
I think that's why I didn't do it.
Probably.
Because it would have been too much. Like, no. Go back
if
to
it was anything like Martyrs, yeah, people would
Yes, I mean, Martyrs is like, it's like a movie that sticks with you like forever.
I know. I love Martyrs so much. I can't bring myself to see it again, though.
No.
Like,
that's one of those movies that, yeah, they're so extreme. You like, once you've seen it once, it's like, it's so unsettling that you don't really, I mean, as much as you love it, you can have the Blu-ray to collect it, but you don't really want to see that again. There are some movies.
Yeah, I tried buying the Blu-ray. It's not available in the States for some reason.
Oh, yeah, really some of these movies, you cannot find the Blu-ray in the US. They're not getting ported. Like, maybe you can find just DVD or like just streaming.
Yeah, it drives me crazy, though, because it's such a masterpiece, and I want to like study it, but it's just, I don't know if I can handle it again. It was so extreme.
Yeah, I have a high tolerance for horror, but you were saying, Nick, some movies, they just hit you so hard.
Yeah.
You don't really feel like you want to watch them again as much. Like, you know, like if a Serbian film, like all these crazy movies. Like
I like that one. I can watch again.
You enjoyed it.
So that one, I was able to detach from it, and I was able to laugh with the movie. Somebody sent me.
It's so extreme that it becomes kind of like more. So
somebody sent me. I wasn't planning on watching Serbian film, but somebody sent me a Blu-ray of it, and I was like, "All right, let me watch this." My fiance was not around, so I'm like, "Okay, now's a good time." But I knew kind of what happened in it, so I was a little prepared. But I laughed a lot, and I don't know what that says about me, but it was just—it's so intense and extreme. But it's also a really good movie. Like cinematically, it's really well shot. It looks beautiful. Like it's beautifully shot. It's a good story. That sequence where he cuts the woman's head off is so insane. It's one of the most insane, scenes I think in recent horror history.
Yeah, that's why it's like he left his mark, like in the genre world, even maybe more than like Martyrs. It was just like, but yeah, it was so intense and so insane that became kind of like numbing to the violence.
For sure.
Maybe you can laugh about it because it's so freaking insane.
Yeah.
So.
I want to see what that guy does next. I heard I forgot his name, the director.
I'm actually surprised. I don't think he did much after the Serbian film. That's why I was very surprised. I thought he would go like places or maybe do some other stuff. I heard he was doing something new now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the problem. For example, the director is when they go to the States and they start doing mainstream. In mainstream, there are certain things you cannot do. I was talking to a producer in LA. They say, for example, there are certain films that they just can't be done. For example, the last French film from the director of of Raw. He said here. In a mainstream level, you cannot do that on the States, and that's the problem, because in order to innovate, in order to find good stories, movies that blow your mind, you always have to go to the indie circuit. That's the thing. But the problem is the indie circuit has a lack of promotion. I mean, you can find finance, but the problem is promotion. So we are trapped in this paradox, right?
Yeah, like it's true. Like for example, like for Escalation that now is going to be expanded feature film, another project of mine. Like actually, you know, when you are in Europe, like you are like in Spain, you find this like big support say, okay, what's you gonna do next? Okay, he's gonna become a feature, and the crazier it is, the more get people interested. In the States, when you talk to producer and they see the concept, as much as it can be great, some people they just tell you it's fantastic, but we cannot
Yeah.
touch this.
Yeah.
The only
Like,
chance is tame it, shorten it, and make it more mainstream. But I think from my point of view as a filmmaker, I think it for the horror to kind of like really keep growing as filmmaker, we need to kind of find the nice balance between the extreme side of us that maybe in Europe or in Australia or in Asia is more understood from producer, and more the commercial side for Hollywood from America that makes money. It's just like a balance. I believe it can be found.
yeah,
Like The Hills Have Eyes, again, Alexandre Aya, it was brutal. The remake, it was brutal.
it's better than
Better than the original. I love Wes Craven, better than the original. And it was brutal. It went into theaters. So it's a fine balance that you have to find between entertainment, production value, extreme and gore. Fine tune it until producers say, okay, we can touch that now.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Well,
So
I think
it can be.
Terrifier
Not
2 a lot of things, because I think when I don't think a studio would have given them the money to make Terrifier 2, but it making over $1
definitely.
million, it's going to open up floodgates. And I
Sure.
think now studios will be putting money towards really insane, really brutal. Like somebody said that I think it was who was it who said? Mike Flanagan said that he invented a new genre, the mega slasher, that he did with Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like that he's blasting the doors wide open for a lot
No,
more horror to come out and get funding.
I agree with you, Nick. I think like we as horror filmmakers, we will owe Damien Leone like a lot.
For sure.
Because now we show to people like, okay, a low budget, hyper gory slasher flick can make so much money. So the audience sees there. We just need to put money in these movies. Obviously, put a disclaimer before people go see it, so the kids that don't go in and they watch Art the Clown, slashing people open. But I think he's gonna, as you say, he's gonna open the floodgates for horror filmmakers to get more extreme stuff out.
For sure.
Because
I'm always in favor of not only doing feature films but also short films, because there are stories that, I mean, because there's always the pressure of doing a feature film, but I really love to watch short films. That's why we create the Atrium Festival so people can send, and thanks to that I have discovered amazing ideas that when you think about turning them into feature films, it doesn't make sense. There are stories that need to be told in 90 minutes, but there are stories that just 15 minutes enough, or 5 minutes, or a series. That depends. I think the pressure of making, for example, I have friends that say, okay, I have this short film, we're going to do a movie, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it wasn't made for that, and we have to respect that. Yeah. It's like forcing something to something. Or again, I have friends that, this story lasts 60 minutes. Oh, but it's not a film, so we have to add 30 minutes. That is so boring. Yeah. And that's the thing to avoid, because again, who says that the film has to last 90 minutes? That's a convention. So I'm telling you, I discovered I still remember a Spanish short film. I will send it to you. It's called Spyglass. I will contact the director so we can chat with him another occasion. That the idea is so simple, but it's disturbing, and that's my point. True horror doesn't scare you. It's easy to scare. Jump scares is turn the volume when the monster appears, but to really, really disturb you, that's an art. And I will tell you, the short film is about a girl who wants to have followers on Instagram or social media, and he's like a nanny. He's taking care of a baby, and he's saying, okay guys, look, I'm going to drink this poison whatever, and I'm going to see how much time the ambulance can to prove the efficiency, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it, and nobody, cares. Come on, go fuck yourself, whatever. And the baby is crying because she's taking care of it. And she's going to do it, and finally he doesn't do it, and he throws the acid to the baby. You don't never see the baby. You just hear how the crying of the baby changes to a more pain crying. You never see that, just heard on the screen. So I was feeling like to hearing that sound, and the reaction was everyone, oh, you monster, I don't know. And a lot of people start, getting into the live or whatever, and start saying, I know you, I know where you live, blah, blah, blah. And that's there. So it lasts 10 minutes, but the short film is, wow, so disturbing. It's impossible to make a movie of that, because the idea of being Jordan, and it hits you. And then I'm telling to you, and I watched that short film 2 years ago. So that's a good idea. And again, doesn't show nothing. Just you hear the sound and you understand what is going on. I will send you the
Yeah, I want to check that out. No, I totally agree. I mean, I think the short form.
No, I want to check
underrated.
it out as well, Nick. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spyglass is one of the first edition of Ethereum. We had that from Spain. I said, wow, my God, this is what I'm looking for. And that's what I like about, indie directors. They want to come up with new ideas. And again, sometimes the idea disturbs you. I mean, that's why there are different genres. I give you an example. Two of my favorite horror films, they are horror dramas. I love when horror is melt with drama.
Yeah, me too.
Jacob's Ladder, one of them, masterpiece. And, well, Nocturna, an Argentinian film that I was surprised by it. And again, the idea is what disturbed me. It didn't scare me, but I still talking about that because they deal with, universal issues. The senile, losing his identity. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. No, I think Hereditary was also a horror drama too. Like a lot of the best horror movies are or like drama first, horror second. Arguably, The Shining is a horror drama about alcoholism and dysfunctional families and things like that. But yeah, I think if you remove the horror element, if the movie and characters and story still work, then it's like a really good movie. Yeah. I think that's a really good sign.
There's a short film by Ari Aster called Something Strange About the Johnson.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
I mean, that was the most disturbing short film I watched recently. I mean, really. But again, there's no gore, there's no jump scare, just the idea.
Serbian film. Serbian was easy compared to that one.
Yeah. That's
I mean, like
the point. Yeah, that's my point.
Like
idea.
Drama, But I mean, they harder.
Sorry.
No, you go. Say it.
No. Go, please.
I mean, like movies that are horror, but they are based on family drama or social issues, something that you can relate to. They're always gonna stick with you longer and leave a different mark on you. I love all kind of horror. I love like escapism horror, like something that is just very fun. Like, Terrifier 2, like any Friday the 13th, it's amazing. But when you really want something that sticks with you forever, or like, you can keep thinking about it, when it's mixed with like social drama or family drama or situation that you can relate to in real life, maybe, hopefully not because it's related to you, but maybe you have some friends, you have some family member that have the same issues, then obviously that hits you way harder. That's absolutely. Sure. And that's Ari Aster's biggest strength is like he always bases his stories in like dysfunctional families, or like that's why they're so intense and deeply disturbing.
Yeah, because they're relatable. It's real.
Yes,
lessons.
Exactly.
I think horror works usually the best that way. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Any case.
Let's take an example. Horror comedy. now everybody's doing film, horror comedy, horror, but there's only a few who really get the idea. And for example, to do that, there's a lot of horror comedy on Netflix or whatever, but they are all the same, and they are not entertaining. They are all fun. They are boring. The good you have to go to what a good horror bizarre comedy is. Let's take, I know, a Brain Dead, but Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Let's take Evil Dead. And I'm going to quote you something you said, Nick, about Pussycat. You said that there's been a long time since I saw a movie that really enjoys, and that's because Pablo is a freak, and yeah, I really love, but he's a freak, but he's a child doing films, a very talented child, and he understands how to make this kind of film, and there is something artistic about it, like it's a craft, right? So I had the chance to watch Pussycat in a theater full of people, and it was like going to the soccer stadium. Like every time someone gets killed, it was, and it's what you said, but it was an amazing experience. And I mean, but it's not common because now, directors, they're doing there is the formula cinema and the author cinema. And then the author cinema, you will always find it, in this place. And it's difficult. That's why we have to do this more often to recommend to people more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're seeing more big budgeted horror in movie theaters because it's horror movies that are bringing people into the theaters, because it's the best genre for a shared experience, I think.
Yeah.
I think people want to see, be scared together and laugh together, and horror does that. So I think the theater industry, or people going to the movies in America, it's all gone really down recently. It was doing bad before COVID, and then COVID really just killed the theater industry. But now I think they're realizing people will come out for horror movies again, citing Terrifier 2. It had a theatrical, it was supposed to be in theaters for 2 weeks or 1 week, and it was out for, I think it's still out.
Yeah, 1 week.
In some places, yeah. So people want horror in the theaters, and I think horror, represents a real sort of, it's like a savior genre for movie theaters. That and Marvel movies. Those are the ones that get people out of the theaters.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm a big supporter of theatrical films. I love streaming platforms because they give so much help and a chance to filmmakers to showcase their work. So they do a great job. But for me, the theatrical experience, when you are in a theater watching any kind of movie, especially if it's a horror film, the crowd, the way they react, it's just freaking amazing. Just and people, they want to feel that. They want to be scared together. They want to laugh together. They want to be grossed out together. So I agree with you, Nick. Is one of the genre, if not the genre, that's going to save the theatrical experience. That's 100%. Why producers, they still want to make the money, because in my opinion, theatrical can still make more money than streaming. A good theatrical is always going to make the stream. It's going to generate much more cash flow, because if the popcorn, the Coca-Cola is going to be economically way better in general. So I think they need to figure that out and support the genre, support these movies, because they bring people to the theaters. So I agree.
Yeah, and I think Smile did 200 million, which is
200 plus million. Yeah,
and it was low. It was not. I mean, it was from Paramount, so it wasn't low budget, but it was low budget for them, and it was supposed to be on Paramount Plus. And it did so good in their test screenings that they're like, let's do a theatrical. And it did incredibly well. So people are going to see that. They'll see Terrifier. They're going to see Barbarian. And then we're going to see a lot more horror in the theater.
Even Evil Dead Rise, right? Evil Dead Rise.
I can't wait.
Was streaming. And then it
was supposed to go streaming?
It was supposed to go streaming in the beginning. It wasn't supposed to go theatrical. They just changed it in the run, because probably they made the test screening. They're like, oh, shit. People really love this movie.
Where was it supposed to go? Netflix?
I don't remember which one was the platform, but it was supposed to be a streaming film. Okay. That's why when it came out in news, I'm like, oh no, you make Evil Dead the movie and you put it on a streaming platform, and then they change in the run. I'm happy, because the trailer looks freaking awesome.
It looks pretty awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, to me, the Evil Dead remake is one of the best horror movies in the past 10, 15 years. It's so good. And it's underrated too.
Yeah. It's it was one of those rare cases when they really let the guy do his worst when it comes to gore and shock factor. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. And Fede Alvarez,
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna be like a great filmmaker. So
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would give him. I enjoyed the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'd like to see Fede Alvarez direct the next one
yeah,
because I think his
yes,
sensibility is so extreme. I think he would do something really special.
yes. I
Well, he
think like under the
that Alien.
you go ahead. Rick.
No, he's going to shoot Alien this year.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's
Yep.
finally he's making the Alien that he wanted to do. So he's shooting this year.
Fede Alvarez is. Oh man, I don't know why I thought that Neil Blomkamp was supposed to do that.
He was supposed to do that, but also Fede had like an idea, and I don't know why they went with this idea, but he's making the new Aliens movie now. And Fede Alvarez, I mean, his career began with a short film which was also sci-fi. I don't know if you ever saw it first. So I think he loves the genre, and sci-fi mixed with horror. I think he can make like a crazy good film. So I'm excited. But
that should be interesting.
He should work more as director, and producer was fine. The last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he was producing it. I think his greatest skill is just directing. He's like he's super talented.
So, yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, I wish he would stick to horror and do more horror. I mean, like the girl with the dragon tattoo was cool. He's a great producer too, but like I thought he.
But yeah,
Evil Dead was sensational, and came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, you have this remake coming out for this young guy that just made a short film with his partner.
I showed someone in my family the trailer. I shouldn't have done this because I know she's sensitive. She almost threw up. I felt a little bad.
Wait, that's a good reaction for the kind of film.
You should tell that to the filmmaker. I remember I was watching with my girlfriend the Uruguayan slasher. And the last matinee, I don't know if you Maxi Contenti.
It's a Hawaiian slasher?
Oh, Uruguayan.
Uruguay.
Oh, Uruguayan, okay.
Maxi Contenti's film, The Last Matinee. Great slasher. It's like, and I remember my girlfriend, she's a very sensitive person. She started crying, and I called the director, Maxi, and he was so happy about the reaction of my girlfriend. Really, say, oh, great.
Nice. Yeah, if that's what you're going for, mission accomplished. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think some filmmakers, they just enjoy to shock people. When people, they're like, they stand out and they walk out and like this whoever made this is crazy. I think that's the best compliment you can ever receive from anyone.
Definitely.
No, and again, that well, maybe a lot of people don't know the last. Sorry, I wrote the last movie, The Last Matinee. It's an Uruguayan film. I would say shot in 20 days in a theater that doesn't exist no more because it was the last time. It was an old theater in the 90s in Montevideo, and they put it there, and that's the last time the cinema was open. And it's an amazing film, and I always recommend. We should do like a list with Clara. Well, next, Clara should be here because Clara, she's a cinephile. She knows everything, every movie. So we should do a list of all the films, and then the next time we watch the film, and we invite directors or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like a watch
a recommendation list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
be awesome.
We can do that. I'll send you the films I mentioned, Nick. I also You can say let's start recommending, and then let's do it by Zoom maybe, and then we record it and publish it. Or we can do it in your podcast, whatever it works.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So, by the way, Christian is coming to Buenos Aires in June to the Triumph. I hope you can come too, Nick.
Oh, in June? Yeah, I want to go to Buenos Aires. I love steak and Malbec, so I think I would be very happy. I've been wanting to go to Buenos Aires for years. Yeah. So yeah, maybe. What's happening there in June? Is there a festival or something? Or are you just coming out?
Yeah, we are organizing the Triumph Festival. It's the third edition. We're going to do it in different countries. Like the last time we did it in Mexico, we did it in Colombia. Now we're going to do in Spain, in Italy. The Orre Horrore was there, and
we are
in
also
France.
watching.
The idea is to do that because the problem with festivals is they are local, and the idea was to do something at the same time online and present. So we are inviting. When I was talking to Eva, the actress from Border, Brandon Braga also I invite him because also he wants to meet. Well, he's a fan of Borges, so he wants to meet. So that's the whole idea. And
Cool.
well, I can meet. You can meet Pablo here. We have to go bring him. He's all the time in his house in Aedo. He never goes out, so we have to take him out.
Like in June, they're gonna be like a whole bunch of crazy people in Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I told everyone. I hope. Well, I also told the guys from the Adams family. By the way, the Adams family are really, really talented people. They are the nicest people in the world. They are shooting in Serbia. I love that because they say, okay, let's do a film in Serbia, and they told me they want to also shoot in Argentina. So that's amazing. I mean, filmmakers that travel making horror films, that would be a dream come true.
Yeah, they're incredible. Like they're a completely self-sufficient crew.
Yeah.
Like they as a family, they light, direct, edit, star in their movies. Like they can go anywhere and make movies. They're amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Yeah, I mean, especially that Bender, that was like really like put them on the map for like big time. Hellbender was like.
Yeah, Hellbender. Did you see The Deeper You Dig? It was the previous one.
This one I haven't seen.
It's the first
one.
Yeah,
it's
check it.
good.
The Deeper
it's
You Dig.
Very unsettling. Deeper You Dig. It's good. It's very, very unsettling. Yeah. Yeah. You guys have Shudder where you are, right?
In Italy, I don't think we have.
Oh, no. Okay. What about Argentina?
We have VPN and torrent, so that's no problem.
We don't. Oh, that's a shame. Shudder isn't there yet because they do such a good job of finding movies from all over like really good horror movies from all over the world.
Shudder, I've been trying to contact them that maybe we can do something with them in Latin America. Do you know someone in Shudder? Maybe because I would love to help them because I mean the horror again. We here the people we are a very loyal public, the horror guys in Latin America. It's not a big audience, but we are loyal.
Yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't have come to you yet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure eventually.
Shudder, I met like when I was like at the Flicker's Rhode Island Festival. I met one of the. He was a podcaster that was working there, and he was collaborating with Shudder, finding movies from the festival. So maybe I can ask him if he can put you in touch with Shudder.
A lot of people have been asking where Shudder because everyone is paying VPN. That's you have to change the IP or whatever. And I'm not that. Actually, that's how I watch Hellbender because it was on Shudder. So that I start paying VPN just to watch Shudder and Screambox. Screambox is also getting bigger. I love that because the good thing is they are doing their own documentaries about horror. Oh, by the way, guys, there is a documentary we should invite. Called The Metal Horror. I don't know if you heard about it. No. Because I know there is a association between metal music, rock metal, and horror. Rob Zombie, Bill Mosley. So there was documentary like talking about this relationship, and it's really, really good, amazing. We should invite the guy.
Misfits?
What?
Do they get into the Misfits?
I don't know, but
if you're like
what?
Yeah, the Misfits was like the Misfits were the original horror band.
Yes, they were the original horror band. They were the first one ever. I'm sure they do. I heard about the documentary. The one that you're mentioning, Adrian, but there is a very famous documentary about metal and horror. I think it's that one, but I haven't seen it though. I heard about it.
Yeah.
Misfits.
I mean the director because I thought it was a really brilliant idea, and they interview a lot rock musicians that are fan of horror, well, directors that are love of metal, and well, you know, both because again, Rob Zombie is not the only. It's one of the most known directors, musicians that make horror movies, but there's a lot, and yeah, I think the thing about there is a relationship because here in Argentina, for example, the horror fans were like the misfits, you know, and the metal has this thing. So we get to get actually, Demian Rugna, director of Terrified, has a rock band here called Pasto. Yeah. And he's still sometimes they show their movie and then they play.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool
Yeah,
idea.
Nice.
yeah. We will invite him next time, Demian.
Yeah.
I think he's going to now. We hope. I think he's going to do the remake finally of Terrified. Ah, by the way, he did an amazing anthology, Demian, with all the Latin American directors called Satanic Panic. I don't know if you heard of it.
It's doing great in festivals. I haven't catch it
Yeah.
yet, but
It's great.
It's an anthology movie?
Yeah, it's a Satanic Panics. It was made in the US. 5 directors: Demian Rugna, Guerrero. You know, you talked with her, and the director, the Cuban director of Juan de los Muertos.
Oh.
There is a horror comedy from Cuba. Yeah, from Cuba.
Is a cult film.
It's amazing. You should watch that.
Juan de los Muertos? I gotta write that down.
Juan de los Muertos.
John of the Dead, but it's a satirical horror comedy.
Juan of the Dead. Yes, I've heard of that.
It's very fun.
Have you watched the film?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I need.
Yeah, I've seen it.
No.
Years ago. It's like
That's a good horror comedy because the idea. I mean, it starts zombie apocalypse in Cuba. Of course, the government says no, there are not zombies. They are insurgents or whatever. So. You know, people start becoming zombie, and if it is a family member, you cannot kill it because you feel bad. So this guy, Juan, said, oh, this is a good business. I can kill your loved one.
Oh, that sounds awesome. All right, I got to see that finally.
Yeah, it's very fun. One of the few
Juan de the Dead.
Okay. All right, yeah, I just wrote it down. Definitely checking that one out.
Yeah,
I got all these new movies I got to check out.
Yes, we have another.
Also important, we are here from Chile. Do you know Trauma by Lucio Rojas?
No, just called Trauma?
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, Trauma, it was called the Serbian film, the Chilean Serbian film, for one reason. Watch the screen and you will know why. I mean, Lucio is really, he does very stuff.
There's one they're talking about that's been on the festival circuit. I think it's called Megalomaniac, and that's supposed to be really extreme. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to. I'm curious about it.
Yes, I didn't catch it yet. He's doing great in the festival circuit, but I haven't seen it.
Also, we should talk about Thailand. They're doing amazing stuff. I was trying to contact Joko Anwar. He's like the horror king there, but he's also very good a writer because he writes other stuff. And the Asian horror also. Well, the Asian horror is another world. I think. Well, Japan is one thing. The Koreans are, amazing. I don't know how they do it. Actually, I was talking with a Korean friend. It's kind of funny because I said, look, Korean horror, you are the best. I said, no, I was watching from Latin America and Europe, and you are the best. So people evidently they don't recognize their own talent.
That's funny. Yeah, I love horror from Southeast Asia. Is amazing, like Indonesia, Thailand. Yeah, they've been putting out some greats, and a lot. I mean, I hate to keep bringing up Shudder, but like a lot of it is on Shudder because I know you guys don't have it. But a lot of it is on, like, May the Devil Take You, May the Devil Take You Too, Satan's Slaves.
And those are insane movies.
Yeah, because over there, the belief in ghosts and spirits and demons, it's not, they don't question it. They believe it like it's fact. So they're very open about, like, really frightening concepts in movies. And they go really hard with demons and ghosts and stuff.
Yes, they go very hardcore. I think, like, You know, like Asia-wise now, like the Southeast Asia is the best for horror right now. Before it was like Japan in the early 2000 again with the, you know, The Grudge, Ring.
Mhm.
Now it's really Southeast Asia. They're really doing like great, great work.
Yeah, I heard
Mm.
Takashi Miike has a TV show now that like nobody knew about. Somebody just tweeted about it. I was like, oh, really?
I think he made something new. I don't know if it was a TV show. I'll investigate that. It's interesting because
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
madman.
and then I read the news. He was doing something new. Maybe it's the TV show.
Well, you have the episode he made for Mick Garry's Master of Horrors in print that was censored in the
Yeah.
States back then.
Yeah,
I remember.
Oh, I didn't see that.
In Latin America, we were able to watch it, but in the States, I heard the episode was censored.
yes, he was.
Whoa.
If you want to see something that's very painful, Nick, watch that.
Yeah, it's called Imprint. Imprint.
Yes, it's
Imprint.
insane. Yes.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
write that down.
Yeah.
That's like
No,
hard to.
it's funny. Because I mean, it's amazing what Mick did to get together all these directors. But when he called Takeshi Miike, he said, "Okay, I will do whatever I want." And well, that's what.
That's the rule. Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
You can't tell that guy what to do.
Takashi Miike is the one that you don't want to take. Do whatever you want. No.
No. Yeah. No, he's a madman.
Yeah.
Brutal. That was like watch.
Another there's well, I also love animation, and of course I watch Phil Tippett's Mad God. I had the chance to talk with Phil, and again it's amazing. I will put the video. I had a talk with him. It's a fun. I wanted to talk to him because I admire for 20 years. I was nervous really. He's a very he's a true artist, right? With the capital letter, right? Like he's studied anthropology, morphology. I mean, he's really an amazing guy. It's like talking with Alan Moore, like someone very well read. I mean, and what he did with Mad God, that's what I love. I mean, this kind of artistic horror. Creepy, beautiful. I don't know what you think about Mad God, but
I need to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah,
I'm planning.
Well,
well, that's the thing. Again, you are watching something that disturbs you, but you find beautiful, right? It's like the sex border, one of the most traumatic, disturbing sex scenes I ever seen, but at the same time, one of the most beautiful, the border sex scene.
Wow.
Do you remember the border sex? The border.
I didn't see Border. No, there's a movie called Border, but it's on Hulu. That's a drama, and it's about two people who kind of look like they're like Cro-Magnon people. But it's not that, right? They look like two people who kind of look like cavemen, and they fall in love.
Yeah.
The only Border there
is
I know is the slasher one from like the early 2000s. I don't know if that's
Border is a Swedish film and dark fantasy. It's beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't call it horror. It's more like dark fantasy because I think Nordic horror, it's more about dark fantasy. It's not necessarily horror.
Right.
And I love that.
Right.
I really
nice.
I mean, what they are doing with, Let the Right One In is one of my favorites because, again, it's not the horror we know. Because, again, when you take a horror and we take it to another culture, you have another thing. You cannot call it, your own. You cannot compare it with, horror in the States or Italian horror. They are different. Yeah, I mean, let's take Italian horror. Let's take Argento. Let's take Fulci. Let's take Pasolini. I mean, again, he do some horror, but the thing about Pasolini, he was political also. Well, he was killed by someone. I don't know who.
I don't know.
Pasolini?
But it did touch briefly horror. I mean, he made some unsettling, things as well. Even if he wasn't a horror filmmaker like Argento or Fulci, he was like the
film Gallo.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, apparently we are running out of time. Do you want to do a next next talk in Zoom so we can bring more people? I don't know when
Yeah,
you
let's
can.
do it again. This was a lot of fun.
This is all fun. Yeah, guys, you hit me up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Nick, it was